you doing, Valerie?
Great. Thank you very much for invitation and creating space for entrepreneurs basically share their stories, wisdom.
We're really excited to have you on Level Up TV and as part of the Meet the Host segment. And we're super excited that you're going to be hosting your own show. You have such an incredible background, work with phenomenal people and do phenomenal work yourself. And it's fantastic for us to be able to actually gain something from that. So we're really privileged to have you on as a host, and we're really looking forward to seeing some of the content that you put out, and definitely our viewers are too. So if you want to start just by sharing a little bit more about you, about your background and what's gotten you to this point that you're at right now.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for having these opportunities to bring more independent women to TV channel, basically, and let them share their voice to stand out and make this world, as we say, better place to be. If to talk about me, I basically was born in the traditional Asian family where everything, all your achievements are all about building great family reputation, following the standards, how it should be, like study well, find a prestigious job, get married, and that's pretty much all where your life ends, let's say. But me being like feeling that I would love to have a different life for myself. So I really love this was always my passion to self-express myself through dancing. So first of all, I'm a professional ballroom dancer. Together with my husband, we became world champions and German champions. And also having this passion of personal development and also finding the ways how we can help and serve other people. Basically, that we were doing the last years, building businesses, consulting to help people to have a greater life. And that's how the idea of independent women came out, to help basically women to find their way to build financial freedom through also becoming free in their mind, in their emotions, build a platform where they can, in a very safe environment, self-express, first of all, themselves, connect with each other, and basically grow their business. So that's what I'm doing. And last year, we started to build a digital platform because of all changes in the whole world. And in January, we started the pre-launch phase. So that's what basically I was working on. And this is so important to have this alignment, what you have inside, this heart, as well as the capabilities and everything what you learned, put it together and have this fulfilled life.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very, very good point that you make. It's that, when you have the passion and the motivation and the drive to be able to do something, it's also about aligning that with the right resources and being able to access those resources at times. You work with a lot of women, supporting them on that journey to entrepreneurial success. And when we first spoke, that was something that we were very closely aligned on. And do you have any examples or even advice for our viewers as to, if they're starting with an idea and they know that it's something that is needed, something that could really have a positive impact in their lives as well as the lives of others, how do they go about starting to seek out, filling in the gaps and the resources that they would need to actually take that next step? Because, it is one that many women want to take, but they feel often quite isolated. It's a whole big unknown, and they don't know where to start. on numerous levels, not knowing how to access funding, not knowing how to put together additional resources that they need, find the right partners and that sort of thing. What advice would you give?
I think we live in a unique time when from one side we have this amazing opportunity to have access to information, connect with each other no matter where we are currently. Like we are now in completely different countries, but we still have this privilege to communicate and create this show. But from the other side, it creates additional noise for so many people. From one side, we do want to be like belong to something and express ourselves. From the other side, when women, particularly women, of course, but I'm talking in general about like human being, they see, oh, like this feeling of comparing themselves, first of all, plus having so much noise, like noise, I mean, too much information, marketing, put on top of this like family, what other people expect from them, maybe sometimes also motherhood, and so many ways when you can really lose yourself. I think the very basic step is for basically connect with yourself and figure out what you want. And I know it sounds easy and everybody, like a lot of people talk about this, but in reality, I saw how many times women start, like they start their business project, startup, whatever it is, and they just not able, they're just burnt out. They cannot really grow it fast the way they want to grow it. Maybe it's not enough passion. It's not enough, like maybe heart in this project because it's not aligned. Maybe somebody, maybe their coach, or maybe they saw advertising somewhere and they thought, oh, I also can do that. But important part and piece of this is actually really connect with yourself and realize what do you want in this life, how you would love to self-express these things, and the tools and resources and people will come. And believe me, when you are in this self-development space, uh, constantly investing in yourself, so maybe it's step two, start to invest yourself and explore what opportunities are, right people and resources will come, as well as the funding. Because when you investors, they not invest in the startup or project, that they invest in you, in human being, seeing all this passion, see your values. And I think another important step is when you like really figure out what you want and what do you want to self-express, is being in peace and alignment with your values, how you want to basically build up your empire, have this foundation on place. I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't really put so much attention on the foundation because they are all about the shortcuts, growing fast. But being an athlete, we invest years to build up this basic that we are able to make these tricks in the future, you know, nice pictures and nice things that maybe people see as an end product. But the same is entrepreneurship. When you invest enough time, maybe it's years, maybe months, it depends what the project is about. You take time to invest in this, then your business will start growing pretty fast and you're actually ready for that. You're ready for new opportunities, new clients. It's easier to also raise funds, and there are so many options from venture capitalists, from like angel investors, but it's like whole new topic, I think. So
I think it's a very valid point in terms of, you know, starting from a good foundation and actually taking time to create that foundation and really putting in what you expect to get out. Or, you know, you obviously expect to get out a lot more, but particularly at the initial phases. I see so many posts online and adverts about, you know, make 6 figures in a month, and, you know, I turned my
exactly.
business into, you know, a multi-million-pound business or dollar business in 30 days, or, you know, those types of things. And it really frustrates me because it, you know, there, for most, I mean, obviously there are instances where this does happen, but for most, nothing is an overnight success. You know,
Mm,
nothing sort of just comes. There's often quite a lot of work that goes into, you know, what comes before. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are missold, you know, because of what's out there and seeing
yeah,
the success stories, but not really seeing what the challenges are. And I
yeah,
like that you touched on, you know, how much work you put into being able to create, you know, a work of art and a masterpiece. You know, people see that end result and think, wow, you know, she's really talented. But the number of hours and everything else that went into that behind the scenes to get it to that point is equally important. Um, Earlier, and this sort of links in, earlier you mentioned, you know, how many distractions there were. And I think that's one of the big things as well. There's so much information, people are being bombarded with so much. And there's so many distractions in terms of what's available. You know, you can choose whether you want to read a, you
mm,
know, a self-development book, or do some exercises, or work on increasing your knowledge and, you know, doing a course and learning something new. Or you can scroll through social media for an hour, or stream one of, you know,
yes,
200 movies, or, you know, actually more than 200, so everything's at your fingertips. And then of course there, you know, the other demands on time, like family and work, and trying to resolve work or business issues. How do you, what do you recommend for people in terms of managing their time? And, you know, you spoke about investing in yourself, but actually allocating the space and the time to do that.
well, time management is like a huge huge thing.
Absolutely.
But yes, you're right. I just wanted to add one part that people perceive, as you mentioned, like it's overnight success, and actually success in terms of like becoming multimillionaire in few months. It is possible, but it's not that it's really happened during few months. It's years when you tried something and you failed, tried and failed, and then at some point you found out something, it worked, and it took maybe, I don't know, half a year. This is the reality. But nobody
Yes.
mentioned that 20 years, or I don't know how many years they tried to build up the success. And I think part of the success, as you mentioned, is of course time management. How people do invest their time, especially nowadays when we are stuck in a way at homes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's all about mental health, first of all. And everything starts from your vision as well, how you envision your life in general. Because having this picture, what kind of lifestyle, we talk about success so far in terms of, for example, money, when, like, I mean, social media, or what people are trying to possess, brand in social media, like how much money they make, what kind of status they also have, what kind of positions in life. But success, it's so much more, right? So it's also the level of happiness you experience every single day, the level of connections you are able to build with your family, with your children, with your parents, with whomever it is. I think it starts from also, it's easy to say be grateful. And when people have
Mm-hmm.
everything like around them, it's hard to be grateful because you feel take things for granted. But when you lose things or your lack of something, you start to realize that, oh my gosh, I'm actually so much want to be connected with these people or that type people, or do this in life or that in life. When you bring all these things together once again, and this is part of your vision, what is important for you. So basically it's connected, like what you want to
Mm-hmm.
express in this world, what are your values, and what kind of vision of your life you have. When you have it, you start to actually invest your time wisely, let's say, with what kind of people you want to connect, what kind of project you want to build. And talking about entrepreneurs, very often when you see their P&L for the project, a biggest part, and this was also my mistake, not including your hours in this,
Mm-hmm.
but let's say budget of this, like
Mm-hmm.
numbers, P&L, because they're all about, okay, this is my marketing, this is my
Mm-hmm.
operations, my expenses, and this and that, but they never take into account their own time. So we basically take this, the most valuable resource, for granted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to have, first of all, routine when it comes to time management. I know it sounds boring, I mean, even for me, like routine, but really figuring out how you want to split your time, what is important for you, how much time you want to invest in yourself, whether it's in the mornings, whether it's in the evenings, or while, um, in my case, while my kids are napping, for example. So, and figuring out, as a woman, we have a tendency to give, and then we're depleted. We don't have enough resources and energy. Is actually figuring out what makes you happy, what really fuels you. In our community, we're actually doing this challenge where during 7 days, women were journaling what kind of activities and things make them truly happy, not what they see in advertisements, for example, but maybe it's specific action, maybe it's go for a walk, maybe to buy flowers to yourself, maybe some music, maybe you want to exercising, workout, whatever. They did a list of things. And when you feel bad, maybe it's not like great day, you can take this list and you start to pick up one thing or two things and start doing this. It's already brings on the next level the whole day, and basically day is what makes you up the whole week, and the whole week makes up the whole month. So really start perceiving your life not just like, okay, this is the project or this is the work that I need to finish, but take the whole vision of your life, how you perceive it, the whole lifestyle, and then start to split it on a small steps, how you can make things happen. Like if you're a person whom you want to become, what this person will be do every single day, like reading, or as you mentioned, like watch soap operas the whole day, right? Or do you want to listen to important information, or you just want to, I don't know, hang out with people who not really value your,
Yeah,
it's up to you.
fantastic. It's everything that you're saying resonates very strongly, and you'll see why. So we're about to launch an app called Success in Four, and the aim is to help people build habits for success in 4 steps. And success could be anything. It could be getting out of bed in the morning. Yeah.
Mm,
But there are different parts to the app. And the one part is about motivation and inspiration. So there are things like quotes and, bonus videos and that sort of thing. The other part is your daily journal. And the journal has action lists, and it has a
mm,
section for your daily gratitude and for your notes, as a vision board section. And that's all about, seeing what it is that you actually want to be able to achieve. And alongside the app will be a book which actually goes into the science of how to utilize these different things, because they seem very simple, but if you do them in the right way, they're actually incredibly powerful. And like you said,
mm.
routine sounds boring, but actually it is about organizing your life in a way that allows you to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And the last section of the app is actually the monthly review section, where you put things in perspective, look at where you might need to pivot, what some of the obstacles and challenges are, and what you plan on doing for the next month. And there's also a section where you include your treat. So a treat for yourself, because it's so important. People forget about that. They forget about doing things for themselves.
Yeah.
And women are definitely more prone to this than others. So Valerie, tell us a little bit more about some of the plans that you have moving forward. Obviously, you're going to be presenting a show. Are there any sneak previews that you want to give people, little teasers about that, or any of the projects that you're working on? And, and then we'll move on to how people can get in touch with you and what they can access you for. So if, for example, they're interested in becoming part of the network or anything, so if you could share a little bit more about what some of the plans are to start and any teasers you have for the show.
Well, sure. Well, I think, as I told, the platform Independent Women is all about creating the safe space where women can learn, but also self-express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because very often, especially women, we don't really share what's going on behind the camera, behind the scenes, behind everything. But there are definitely incredible stories from which you can learn a lot of things that you can see as a example, whether how to deal if you have the same situation, or how to avoid, or how to prevent. And part of the show will be basically highlight these stories, but not just stories as a story, but actually giving people some tools how they can deal with some particular life situations, because nowadays a lot of people struggling, not just on a physical level, but this part as well, but also on mental level, emotionally. People go through some challenges, whether it's business wise, whether it's in their private life, in relationships. We did talks last year. Every single week we were bringing experts from different fields who were also sharing different tools, how people can grow their business, how they can become better version of themselves, better parents, whatever it is. And we were doing this in an engaging way. So I think uh, part of the show will be also in this kind of format, but
Mm-hmm.
more engaging, more making people taste and experience new things. I think important part of this to be open minded, to be open, try something new. And if you are restricted, like in terms of traveling nowadays, but at least you can try new things, and you don't need to, book your next flight ticket or do something. You can do it in your local community, you can do it at home, you can go into deep work with yourself, because now is the perfect time to bring changes in life, of course positive ones. So this
Mm-hmm.
is part of that. And of course there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes of my life, because
Mm-hmm.
um, putting together like private part of the life as like kids and family and things like that. And of course we are working on putting together big event in collaboration with several platform, women empowerment
Fantastic.
platform in UAE, US and Europe, and
Wonderful.
bringing entrepreneurs, for like global entrepreneurs, into one virtual space.
Mm-hmm.
Also giving them opportunity to share, also finding, probably have this, you were talking about funding the projects, so this can be also opportunity for them to find potential investors, connections, collaborations, JVs. This is one of the projects that we're working on now. And of course we are continuing building up the platform. It's
Mm-hmm.
Independent Women, where people can become members. It's based on invitation, but yes, you can have access to all the resources that we created so far for entrepreneurs, and also in self-development space. And of course, if you want to connect with people who are not just doing business, like building overnight successes,
Mm-hmm.
but really dedicated women who would like to have more in life, and they put really their heart in building up their business. So this is the basically community that we are building up also in a virtual space.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. So you have a tremendous amount going on. And yeah, we can't wait to find out more and to learn more and to grow together. So that's super exciting. But we're at the end of our interview. I really wish we could go on talking because there's just so much more to gain from your expertise and insights. But I'm really glad that you'll be hosting a show and we'll be able to access some of that. And we'll also share with the viewers information on the platform and anything else that you've got coming up as well. So looking forward to that. And yeah, so if there was one quick sort of passing piece of advice that you would like to give to people, what would it be?
Think just take the time for yourself, finally figuring out what is important for you and sorting out everything what's not supposed to be in your life, starting from like contacts in your phone,
Mm-hmm.
like really uh, getting out of things in your home, in your space, in your environment, and taking it further, whether it's business projects, because nowadays there are a lot of opportunities. You just need to really open your eyes, and you can see that people even reaching out and saying, oh, let's do this and let's do that. Actually doing this interview, and there's constantly popping out that, you know, this trend clubhouse where you have millions of rooms every single second. There are also opportunities like that. So I think it's important to really take time to realize who you are, what you need, what you want, and really learning to say no to things that don't serve you, and be
Absolutely.
open to things that you really want to have in your life. And it's not only about the law of attraction, but actually it is part of this, but it's all about law of action, by doing small things and appreciating the that you actually can do the small things happen. It gives you more self-confidence, it keeps you focused, and at the end of the day you will reach out to the point where you want to be.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And that completely fits in with one of my mottos, which is see, believe, act, and achieve. Because I think
Yeah.
a lot of people leave out the act, but thank you
Yeah,
so much for your time, Valerie. You've been absolutely amazing. So good to see you again. And look forward to speaking again and seeing you again soon.
thank you very much.
Take care.